Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Mary and Cupcake. Cupcake, can you say good morning? Woof, woof. Cupcake sees John Grady. Who else do you see out there, Cupcake? Do you see Rose? And Allie? And Kate? And Bowen and Grace? Oh my goodness, look at them. Can you see them? Yeah. We're so glad you're here this morning, and we have a really good book to read. And before we read that book, though, maybe we'll sing a puppy dog song. Would you like that? Whoop, whoop. Do you know the song, How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Do you know when I was a little girl, that was my favorite song. So maybe we'll sing one verse of it. How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. And I didn't find Cupcake in a pet shop, but I found her actually at a rescue site up in Tuscaloosa. So I'm so glad I found Cupcake. And I'm talking about the real Cupcake. This is Cupcake the puppet. That Cupcake the puppet came from a toy store, right? That's right. So we are glad you're here today. And you know, the library is open now. And so when I was there one day, Miss Lauren, who works at the library, said this is a really good book. It's by Al Yankovic. You ever seen him? He sings funny songs, and he wrote a good story called When I Grow Up, with illustrations by Wes Hargis. So this is a story about what do you want to be when you grow up? They're going to ask this little boy that. Does anybody ever ask you that? What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, let's see what he says. Oh my goodness. Let's see what's in here. When I Grow Up. And he wrote it for Nina. Do you know that's what my grandson calls me? Nina. That's my grandma name. I waited so long for the hours to pass. Do you see that clock? But soon it was noon there in Mrs. Krupp's class. And Thursday at noon, as I'm sure you know well, is the time of the week when we do show and tell. And this week the subject so special to me was when I grow up, what am I going to be? That's something I'd really been thinking about. And I just couldn't wait to let all those thoughts out. So the teacher has asked them, what do they want to be when they grow up? So when Mrs. Krupp said, who's ready to share? She's asking the class. You can guess who was there with his hand in the air. I raised both my hands just as high as they'd go, and I bounced up and down, and then what do you know? Well, Mrs. Krupp picked me, yes, me, to go first. Oh, I was so happy I thought I would burst. So he is going to go first and tell him what he's going to be when he grows up. I proudly stood up and began my oration concerning my choice for a future vocation. Ahem! Esteemed friends and colleagues, and dear Mrs. Krupp, I know what I'm going to be when I grow up. He knows what he's going to be. Let's see. Why, I'll be the greatest chef you've ever seen. The world will go crazy for my hot cuisine. I'll tantalize taste buds with my rigatoni, sautéed with black truffles and pickled bologna. Oh my goodness. Surrounded by kumquats and candied pig's feet, topped with shrimp-flavored lollipops. Bon appetit! That's French for good appetite, a good food. My walls will be filled with awards that I've gotten. Look at all those awards on his walls. For toast on a stick and my Twinkies au gratin. My kitchen will be the most famous in France, so make reservations 12 years in advance. There's no doubt about it. I'm certain you'll see. A world-renowned chef is what I'm going to be. So he likes to be a cook, and he thinks he will be a chef. That's very nice, Billy, sweet Mrs. Krupp said. Who wants to be next? Maybe Susie or Fred? I said, hold the phone now. I haven't departed. Hang on to your seats because I'm just getting started. Oh my goodness. What else does he want to be? See, maybe instead I could be a snail trainer. Do you see all those snails? It looks like a circus. Man, that would be awesome. Why, that's a no-brainer. I'll teach all my snails to do really neat tricks. Do you see all the tricks? They'll play dead, roll over, and even fetch sticks. Of course, all the sticks will come back 2 years later. By working with snails, I mean, what would be greater? They'll do any stunt that I like. Holy moly, I'll train them to pedal a bike really slowly. Then jump, I mean ooze, through a huge ring of fire. Do you see that ring of fire? And crawl at a snail's pace across a high wire. Then finish by writing my name with their trails. That's right, I'll be Billy, the master of snails. And you know, I found a snail shell not too long ago. See my snail? It's riding on a skateboard. So maybe Miss Mary could be a snail trainer. Or else maybe I'll be a lathe operator who makes the hydraulic torque wrench calibrator, which fine-tunes the wrench that's specifically made to retighten the nuts on the lateral blade that's directly beneath the main radial sockets inside cooling systems on X-14 rockets. And since this profession's as cool as can be, well, who would be better to do it than me? Look at that. He's working on like the engine for a rocket. Say, here's an idea, perhaps just for laughs. What is that? I might make my living by milking giraffes. It's oh so cliche to get milk from a cow, and I bet all those cows need a break. Anyhow, imagine me milking way up in the air. I'd use a tall ladder instead of a chair. Look at that. He's going to climb a ladder and milk a giraffe. What? Milking giraffes? Mrs. Krupp said, oh, please. I countered, how else could we make giraffe cheese? Giraffe cheese? Now, don't interrupt me. I'm not really through yet. There's still lots of stuff that I'm planning to do. Yet. Because maybe I'll be a gorilla masseuse. Oh, my goodness. He is going to give that gorilla a massage. That would be a big job. Gorillas are big. Or an artist who sculpts out of chocolate mousse. He's taking chocolate mousse and making a tiki head. That's what that looks like. Or a rodeo clown. Or a movie director. Or maybe professional pickle inspector. Or a big sumo wrestler. Or a hedge fund investor. Or a smelly pit-sniffing deodorant tester. Ooh, I don't think I'd like that job. Or I'll be an expert on nuclear fission, or else a foot model, or a friendly mortician, or a waiter, or a skater, or a master debater, or a dinosaur dusting museum curator, or TV repairman, or sidewalk sign waver, or part-time assistant tarantula shaver. Do you see him trying to shave? Those tarantulas are big furry spiders, and he's trying to shave them. Look at that. And that's about when Mrs. Krupp said, now, Billy, please make up your mind. This is getting quite silly. Which one of those things are you going to choose? I shuffled around and I looked at my shoes. And finally I said, my great-grandfather Bob's been a whole lot of things, had a whole bunch of jobs. A butcher, a barber, a bellman, a bouncer, a telephone psychic, and a bingo announcer. You know what? He just turned 103, and he's still not quite sure what he wants to be. And he's 103. Look at, he's been a lot of things, hasn't he? See, I'm only 8. That's all he is, just 8 years old. So frankly, I'm hoping you'll cut me some slack if I leave options open. Let's just wait and find out what my future brings. Hey, I might have time to do all of these things. And then the bell rang and we all went to lunch. Ooh, that's a fun time at school, isn't it? To go to lunch and see what's in your lunchbox. Well, there they are all eating their lunch. And he says, I was sipping my pineapple punch. Do you see him? Do you see Billy sipping his pineapple punch? I pondered professions that I'd like to enter, like brave firefighter or crazy inventor. Or maybe, just maybe, when I grow up, I can be a great teacher, like dear Mrs. Krupp. Oh, look, he put teacher for Mrs. Krupp, love Billy. He made her a card. He likes his teacher. You know, that's a good thing to be, a teacher. So I don't know what he'll be. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? This book gives you a lot of ideas. And this is a library book from Spanish Fort Library. So I'll be returning it, and you might want to check that out. Now, for a craft today, I have a puppy I made. Have I ever shown you this puppy? Do you know what I made this puppy with? I made it with a sock. Can you see that that's a sock? And then inside the head is a styrofoam ball that I put on a stick, and I painted the stick, the bottom part brown. Then this sock is over an old oatmeal box. That's an oatmeal carton. I slid that sock over that, and I put that, take the sock, open it up, flip it over, put this ball back in here, and I push it up into the sock, and look, on the head of the sock, what did I make? I put ears out of felt, and some Google eyes, and a pom-pom nose, and pom-pom big red cheeks, and a little red tongue. And this is a puppy dog who can play peekaboo. He can go, where is he? Peekaboo. He can go down in his box. You pull the stick down or push it up. And I made a little poem. Wuffy the puppy wuffs you. Push Wuffy up. You see the pup. Pull Wuffy down, but don't frown. You can see Wuffy again and again and again, because Wuffy puppy loves you. See, there he goes. Woof, woof. And that's the end of story time. And I hope we'll see you all next Wednesday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.